everyone, welcome to episode 60 of Formidable Opponents, a show that picks three people who have known each other virtually their entire lives in a series of conversations as we argue what is best in a variety of fun, engaging, and critical pop culture topics we all debate about. I'm Randall, and with me as always Bob and Joseph, and today we're joined by a special guest, our buddy Manny, and today's topic is best song by an actor. Actors. Is there anything they can't do? You'll hear at times method actors attempt to embody the profession or person that they are portraying. This week on Formidable Opponents, we are discussing and debating those actors that took it a step further. Crossover stars are nothing new. We've seen it from everybody from Judy Garland to Lady Gaga. It makes sense for musicians, and singing often involves the artist to ensorcel us with the theatrics and emotion of the music. There was a time, and in some cases there still very much is a time, where actors for one reason or another felt that expression shouldn't be limited to script pages and the big screen. You see, there isn't a blind follow to the phrase, leave it up to the professionals. When you feel you are the professional, or at least acted as a professional, and the self-proclamation of the limitless talent you believe you have can easily translate to any art, who's going to tell you no? Who's going to tell you it's a bad idea? Who's
going to drive you home?
You put one asshole overtaken by hubris, lack of self-awareness in front of a microphone, and sometimes you get a distorted reality. You put three assholes overtaken by hubris, lack of sense awareness in front of a microphone, and sometimes you get a podcast. We here at Formidable Opponents love a great bad song, and in this case, we were surprised to find some pretty good ones. This week, we're talking best song by an actor. Bob, Joseph, and Manny, who much like David Hasselhoff are also big in Germany. How are you guys doing?
Good, brother. Good. Feels good to be back, man. So hey, he fucking single-handedly brought down the wall, so I'm just going to throw that out there.
I love Hasselhoff.
So before we go on to the questions, we want to welcome our special guest, our buddy Manny. Manny happens to be an old colleague of mine. He's known for his local commercials. Shout out to Truckers Equipment and some of the other stuff down there. I will tell you, when I met Manny, I wasn't his biggest fan. He came in, he was known for... Are you still with us, Manny?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you?
Okay, yeah, you look frozen.
He's just frozen.
Listening. He's fucking listening, man. Goddamn.
I was like, maybe I'm
really. I wanted to hear, the story. Like, go proceed with the story, Randall.
I'll start. I will say, when I met Manny, we worked together. We're old colleagues, and he was hired as a part-time worker. But before that, he was a student worker. So we would hear tales of Manny all the time and how great he was and how funny he was. And when he stepped on campus and I met him, I did not like him. I thought he was like too sort of over the top, attention getting. And that's why he's on the show today, by the way. And then when you got to know him and you got to hear his jokes, I mean, there was nothing but just admiration. He was a funny guy. He's got a big heart, and he's just, I don't know. I love hanging around Manny. Manny, I will share a time, my favorite memory with you. So Manny used to oversee the game room back at the college we worked at. And he and I were playing ping pong against each other. And Manny was really
the game
good.
Room.
You did. Manny and I were playing ping pong against each other, and he beat me by like 4 points. And I felt confident. I was like, all right, let's do it again. I think. And then he switched hands and he beat the shit out of me. Like, totally skunked me. He was kind of like Indigo Montoya.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I know something we don't know.
So, no. Manny, it's a pleasure to have you here. You also you do a Twitch, right?
Yeah, we got Twitch. Like I was telling y'all earlier, I got into gaming, dude, during COVID, and I ended up building a PC, got all into it, got like a sound mixer. And I got 2 viewers a week, so I'm moving on up in the world. All right,
those are fucking awesome viewers, though.
Yeah, awesome viewers. I got 2 subscribers. I got my first check from Twitch. It was a whole $8.50.
You got to get that Athletic Greens money.
Yeah.
Well, now you got 3 more listeners, so we just doubled your audience. So we're good.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. No, Randall, thank you so much for the introduction, man. I'm really excited to be here. And, just looking to have some fun with you guys.
So, Manny, we always allow our guests to pick the topic, and we send a variety of topics to all our guests. And sometimes our guests will sort of swerve us and pick their own topic. You picked a topic from the list we sent you. So we're doing best song by an actor. Why that topic? Why did you pick it?
I just think that, it's hard, first off, to act, and because, I mean, we've done some film festivals together, and trying to put that stuff together, trying to, you trying to write, trying to act in it. It just shows how hard it is to be part of that industry. and then going off and saying, okay, well, you know what? I think I can sing and put myself more out there, for the critics. And I respect it, man. I respect it. And actors that come up with songs that are catchy, that do get radio play, dude, all the more for them, dude. I appreciate that.
Bob and Joseph, what were your thoughts on this topic when Manny selected it?
I think we had talked about it before a little bit. I think we had mentioned it, and of course, there's a lot of great songs by actors, and we saw doing the research this week, Mr. T. God damn it, bro! I'm sorry, I love you, but you can't sing for shit. There's a lot of really funny novelty ones as well. I thought it was a cool little topic, dude.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool too. There's obviously there's the ones that we know that are just great, and then there's the ones that we're going to talk about and laugh about too. And there's some like legit actors that have at least gone out there, actors and actresses that have gone out there and actually put themselves in the situation of a band or not so much like just them out there on their own with their own name, but being part of something and being part of a group with legit musicians, things like that. Not to say that none of these people are legit musicians, but and the genres that we're gonna that these picks that and any songs that we're going to talk about in general, they're out there, so there's a good mix of all that stuff.
Are you going to talk about Steven Seagal? Or are you talking about Steven Seagal?
No.
Have you heard his song? Did you hear his song?
Yes. Sounds like Uncle Cracker's uncle, by the way. So I do want to ask before we go on to the opening questions, and I did post this with Manny's permission on our website. So we had a little bit of a delay because Manny's wife, who I know very well, Judy, awesome person, she got into a little bit of an incident. Manny, is she okay? Tell us what happened and how she's doing.
She's doing okay, thank God. That she called me a little while ago, right before y'all started, saying that they let her go. She was in there all of 15 minutes because it wasn't really anything serious. It was just I wanted her to take care of herself. But yesterday she was gonna go to a birthday party, and she decided to heat up some wax so she could wax her little mustache, which I think is cute, by the way. I told her to leave it, so she gets it out of the microwave, and her. She has two left thumbs, and when she grabbed it, it just fell out of her hand and fell right on her cleavage, dude. And it wasn't pretty. And earlier I was at a fishing tournament yesterday. I got in today, and she she wanted to get down and dirty, So I pulled down her shirt, and the skin was coming with it, man. I thought it was like in Nightmare on Elm Street or something. But yeah, she's doing good.
It went from a Ricky Martin video to Cabin Fever really quick.
Yeah, yeah. No, or at the end of RoboCop when the guy gets dumped with all that. That's
one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah. And it was like sewage, wasn't it?
It was sewage. Yeah. Well, we're glad to hear that you're doing okay, Judy. If you are listening. And
she's listening.
She's right here next to me.
Okay, so this is the opening questions, guys. Put yourself in the mindset of the actor. What would compel or possess you to want to sing? What do you think goes through their mind? What type of actor does this?
An alcoholic. Somebody who's really into drugs. I don't know, dude. Fuck, man. I think you get a lot of yes men or yes people there in Hollywood, and they're like, you can do anything, you're on top of the world, you're one of the greatest actors, blah blah blah, and they kind of fill up their head and fill up their dreams oh, you want to sing, fuck it, sing, let's put out a single, fuck it, I'll put you in touch with people. So they kind of go for it. Some of them actually can legit sing, so it might have been the reason why they kind of got into Hollywood or whatever the case is. But I think a lot of drugs. Yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I'd kind of have to agree with Bob on that part. A lot of there's a lot of people that different times in life, different times, different eras that have been extremely fucking popular or just, everywhere. And somebody like Bob said, somebody tells them, hey, why don't you, is there let's try to make as much as money off of you as we can. Is there by any chance that you can carry a tune? And if they can if they can do that, and if somebody gives them a yes, then they're off and running. So I think there is some people that are legit, obviously can do things and be musicians, and then there's just people that are just actors and actresses that are huge fans and very respectful of their particular genre that they maybe like to listen to, and then they want to try it themselves. I don't know. I think it's more so people would just get it in your ear and telling you let's make some money off of you, or telling them, you know, the yes man, yes.
I could see that.
But I think there's a good percentage of people that literally just, you know, like they're legit like big fans of music, and they want to just see if they could. They're already like famous in their own right. Maybe they can just add to it, you know.
I think that it's ego, man. Their ego, you know, like they're like, you know what, I'm this huge actor. Fuck it, I'm gonna go out there. I wrote these lyrics down. Somebody, you know, get it on the radio, you know, or get it produced, and they go off and you know, just so they can feed that inner ego and just want to be king big shit, you know, say, okay, I can act and now I can sing, especially, you know, back in the day, you know, now it's pretty much given that there's going to be actors, you know, actors/singers. But back then, you know, 80s, 90s, you know, when I was growing up, if somebody did that, I was like, oh shit, dude, that's badass.
Was there an actor that you had no idea had a song out there, and then you discovered their track because of this episode? Was there somebody that just stood out at you that I had no idea this person was?
For me, it was Bruce Willis singing jazz and dancing around a pool hall. I was like, what the fuck? When did this happen? It was after Die Hard, right? Or after Die Hard? I have no
idea.
What was that movie? Where they're like dancing around or something.
Pulp Fiction? No,
not Pulp Fiction. No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know, man. I when I saw his music video for his song, I was like, holy shit, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Him and Mr. T, which just threw me off, but I think Mr. T was just fucking around, or somebody. I don't know what the hell that was.
For me, not so much. I mean, I wasn't really surprised by anybody. I knew who to look for. I knew
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yeah,
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yeah,
no, she's on that too. I knew.
How do I
that? You know, nobody really surprised me.
Yeah, Jennifer Love Hewitt came across like a cotton candy Alanis Morissette. She sang a song. I'm sure that's how they lured her for the sequel to I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. They said, hey, we'll let you sing on the album. And she sang something that had nothing remotely to do with a movie or horror. One person I was reminded of was Phoebe Cates. Do you guys remember a screwball comedy in the early 80s? It was called Private School. It was with Matthew Modine, who plays Dr. Brenner on...
I know exactly who you're talking about, but I know the movie, but I never watched the movie because, you know, I was still swimming around in my dad's sack at that time.
She had a couple of songs on that soundtrack. How Do I Let You Know? Just One Touch. I think the allure of getting to sing on a soundtrack, I think it incentivized a lot of actors to do the movie. So, I mean, I think that was one thing. Hey, we'll let you sing on it. We'll get you on the film, and we'll get your recording out there. And that was the only time an actor could get into a recording studio and sell their music, because nobody else was going to put on a whole album of Phoebe Cates. Just my opinion. What was the worst song by an actor, guys, that you discovered or that you think?
Oh, David Hasselhoff for sure.
David Hasselhoff, Hooked on a Feeling.
You can't fuck with the Hoff, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'd rather see him running down the beach without a shirt than I
would in slow motion all day, chest hair. Give it to me, but no, I don't want to hear you sing, dude. But I'm pretty sure if he was still a night rider, the kid would be like, Michael, stop, you know.
Yes.
I don't think nothing I heard was really fucking like horrible. I mean they were horrible because it was so cheesy. And the good example of that would be pretty much anything David Hasselhoff did. He can carry a tune, and he was very popular in Germany. I mean, they fucking loved him. But I think, you know, I didn't nothing stood out like as like just horrible. Like oh my God, what are they doing? They should not be singing at all.
Did you all get to hear Steven Seagal? I know we talked a little bit about him. Did you all get to hear any of Steven Seagal's songs?
Yeah, I saw that one he did, the one music video he had where he's like in India.
Yeah,
like
Girl, It's All Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like an old cartoon bear in that one. Yeah. I don't know.
He grew up to look like an old cartoon bear after it, so it kind of worked out for him.
At least he wasn't running in that video, because that would have put it over the top.
He's got the worst fucking run in any action movie I've ever seen before in my life. What was the name of that one? Was it Above the Law, or which one was that one where he comes back after being in a coma for 7 years?
Hard to Kill.
Hard to Kill, yeah.
Great movie.
That was terrible. But let's get on to our honorable mentions, everyone. Who did you have for your honorable mentions? We'll start off with you, Bob.
Oh man, I decided I'm going to name a couple. One was Bruce Willis, of course, and Mr. T. The Hoff, you got to mention the Hoff and his, you know, bringing down the wall in Berlin. Bradley Cooper, actually. He's one. He did a movie with Lady Gaga not too long ago. And
that was
good.
Single
Shallow. I mean, the guy can legit fucking sing. His was really good. I don't want to go into too many other. There's a few, but I kind of want to save them for later. What do you got, Joseph? What do you got?
I only did 4 real quick. I got Jared Leto, obviously 30 Seconds to Mars.
Saw him live. Yeah, he was badass.
I thought about actually like picking one of these songs from him. But I'll be honest with you, I only liked the first album. I thought the first album was awesome. So the main single from that was Capricorn, Brand New Name. After that, I think he went too pop punk, and I just kind of hated the band. But the first album's good. I'm sorry, this was surprising. I did have one, Rand. I'm sorry. Ryan Gosling, he has a band called Dead Man's Bones, and there's a song called In the Room Where You Sleep, and I heard it in the Conjuring, and I remember hearing it in the movie, and I was like, oh, that's an old song from the 60s that I never even know. That was just the vibe of this. That's the vibe of his band. His band, Dead Man's Bones. They're this real creepy, weird, like 60s vibe. But anyway, that one was surprising. We got Zoe Deschanel for She and Him. They did an awesome cover. I put I thought it was really awesome.
And then with her eyes.
That too. And then last but not least, I got Terrence Howard as DJ. It's hard out here for a pimp.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, man. I think you win honorable mentions there.
Like legit good songs, man.
Those are good. What about you, Manny?
I just had a couple as well. Of course, 30 Seconds to Mars is there, dude. First album was awesome. And when I found out Jared Leto was the singer, I was like,
yeah,
oh God, dude. I mean, that first album was badass. It got radio play. I fell in love with it for real. I thought it was really well done. I was in the rock punk stuff and the whole screamo deal. So yeah, I was blown away. Another one is of course Adam Sandler. I remember y'all touched on this during Thanksgiving. But dude, he has
albums,
he has a wide range of albums. Some serious, a lot of funny. And then the third one, I don't know, Jason Schwartzman, dude. I've gotten really into.
He's good, yeah.
Dude, what's the name?
Oh yeah,
Coconut Records, or what's the name of his?
Coconut Pete.
No, he's
Phantom Planet.
Phantom Planet. Yeah, is he the singer of that band?
No. I think he plays the drums or something.
Yeah, but they had that California song, right?
Yeah, California.
That huge song from the OC.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
that's another one.
Good pick. Catchy, dude.
Hell yeah, that was.
No matter what mood you're in, dude, you're gonna be happy after you sing that, dude. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
My honorable mentions: any rap song that David Silver did on Beverly Hills 90210. I have that. You name whatever you want. I had Choppin' Broccoli by Dana Carvey, which I don't know if that counts, but I'm going to list it. Don't Give Up on Us by David Soul from Starsky and Hutch. I had Heartbeat by Don Johnson, which is actually a good song. I know everybody's going to shit on it. It's Miami Vice. He could do no wrong, but the song isn't bad. Listen to the song and tell me, like, that last stanza, he gets really into it. He shouts. You could tell he's getting pissed off at the end, and I love it. Cups by Anna Kendrick. I thought that was a good song. You're Welcome by The Rock on the Moana soundtrack. I thought that was good. I did have the Hanukkah song by Adam Sandler, but I honestly think that's not his best song. His best song is the Chris Farley tribute song. Because
that's a good song.
Really good. It's a really good song.
I cried.
Yeah, definitely cried on that one. And Maybe It's Time by Bradley Cooper, Star is Born, of course, we mentioned. Dude. And then the last one I have is Falling and Flying by Jeff Bridges.
Yes.
That's a good song.
Good. I was hoping you were going to mention. That's why I didn't want to mention it, because I was like, Jeff Bridges is legit. Yeah. Really if you wanted to be a country star or a folk singer, motherfucker could definitely do that, dude. With his time, he's awesome.
What did that guy not do?
He's amazing. So those are our honorable mentions. And before we get on to our selections, I want to make sure to spotlight our sponsor this week, Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens is a supplement that tastes good. Sometimes when you go out, you're working out, you're trying to find a good supplement for yourself. It's very hard to get something that not only tastes good, but is good for you. There have been many times where I've had friends tell me, hey, Randall, you want to take this drink? It's good for you after a workout. And it tastes like crap. It tastes chalky. The aftertaste is terrible. And then when I try something that tastes good, you look at the ingredients and you see all the sugars and artificial flavors. Well, Athletic Greens has nothing of that. So what's in this stuff? With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. That sounds adaptogens. That sounds like the Transformers. I'm sorry. Less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything. Read their testimonials, their 5-star reviews, and the professional athletes who swear by this stuff. Athletic Greens, to make it easy, is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs if you order now and with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/emerging. That's athleticgreens/EMERGING to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. That's Athletic Greens. And we're back. We're going to go on to our selections. Best song by a singer. Bob, who do you got for us?
Oh, man. This was an easy one for me, to be honest with you. One of the movies that I just couldn't get enough of was the Doors biopic, and Val Kilmer in that movie just fucking kills it, man. I originally picked, when you were asking me, okay, so you're going to go with Val Kilmer from the Doors, what song? I picked Light My Fire, but really it could have been any song that he sang from that movie. From Break On Through to Roadhouse Blues, even the live concerts that they shot for the movie. I mean, he absolutely fucking killed that role and his singing role, and sounded exactly like Jim Morrison. During those live concerts for the movie, the old Doors producers and some of the bandmates obviously were there, and they were all like chiming in like, this is the closest you'll ever get to a Doors concert from the 1960s. He just had, like, I don't know what the fuck he did. I mean, I'm going to explain what he did, but I don't know how he figured it out, how to come up with that voice and the look and all of the above to figure it out. But man, that role was just epic. Apparently, to prepare for it, he learned 50 songs over a year long span of the Doors, and he played them day after day after day. He wanted to really not only just understand the song, see where Jim Morrison was getting his inspiration from and the lyrics from, and he wanted to sound exactly like him. Apparently, he was so fucking convincing that when originally Oliver Stone, the director, didn't want him to sing in the studio, they didn't want him to sing. They're like, no, we're going to backtrack these songs. So Kilmer went out, recorded mixtapes of him singing the Doors, and he sent two different tapes to both Oliver Stone and the original bandmates, the surviving bandmates of the Doors. And he left it blank. So they're listening to the songs and they couldn't tell if it was Kilmer or if it was Jim Morrison. So after that, I think everybody was convinced, like, holy shit, this guy's legit. He sounds exactly like him. So they allowed him to sing live on all the, over the movie, all the songs for the movie. I think it's just kind of crazy that he was able to convince the former band, like, holy shit, like, who is this guy? It kind of blows my mind. I'm fucking glad they obliged him and let him sing on it. He pulls something off that probably no one could ever see that no one ever could see coming. You know, the Doors. He sang the Doors exactly like Jim Morrison, and it's just one of those things where you hear bands like, you know, when Queen, when we lost Freddie Mercury with Queen, it was like, who can replace Freddie Mercury? There's no one that sounds like, there's no one that can hold a candle to that guy. And I think you kind of got the same feeling from the Doors, because, you know, Jim Morrison was such an iconic singer and frontman for that band. For this guy, this young actor, to be able to come in and pull this off, it's something that's fucking astounding to me. Now, I do have a question, though. Y'all see this movie? I have a question. I have to ask, didn't you think it was a trifle unnecessary to see the crack in the Indian's bottom? I think of that every time I see Wayne's World and the naked Indian man with the Jim Morrison in the dream. That's exactly what I was thinking of. I was like, how can I come out with something funny at the end? That's exactly what I was thinking. But yeah, that's my pick, guys. Val Kilmer. What do y'all think?
I'll kick it off. I love Val Kilmer as an actor, and how could we be mean to Val Kilmer after Top Gun Maverick? I mean, he broke our hearts. I mean, it's going to be tough. A tremendous portrayal. I'll say that. I mean, look, we're covering every drug used on this podcast. We're going to start off with acid. We're going to work our way to cocaine, maybe some heroin, peyote. So we'll kick off with that. We get two Light My Fire scenes in this movie. In the first scene, Kilmer doesn't sing it as much as Frank Whaley, who plays Robbie Krieger, and they're sort of doing some a cappella stuff with the longest mic cord in the world, where he's walking around the entire room and that thing never unplugs. So we get sort of the sample of what's to come, and it's a great scene. It's visually brilliant. Shout outs to Oliver Stone. And then we get the Ed Sullivan Show, the scene that probably my favorite scene in the movie, where it really showcases Val's talents. And again, we only get about the first minute of the song, and when he says, you know, girl, we couldn't get much higher, the control room goes apeshit, and that guy in the control room who's getting pissed off, he's throwing 100 miles per hour. Get this guy off the fucking stage. He'll never be in it. I mean, he went a little over the top, but I mean, I thought it was funny. And yes, Val Kilmer sounds exactly like Jim Morrison. He looks like him. He moves like him. And he sounds like him, as I mentioned, but the movie sort of gave us portions of him singing rather than the full complement of Val Kilmer releasing a cover of Light My Fire. And I know there are recordings of him singing all the songs, and he's done everything to, put himself.
I believe there's 15. Yeah. He recorded 15 songs.
Did he? I could not find those, but I would love to listen to him because he's so amazing. It is rumored that Val Kilmer got so lost in playing Jim Morrison that he had to go to therapy therapy because he had trouble adjusting back to being Val Kilmer. So I could imagine he probably did every drug in the book during that time. Who knows? And this is the true injustice. Val Kilmer wasn't nominated for Academy Award. Here were the nominations. Anthony Hopkins, who won for Silence of the Lambs. He was on the screen for 24 minutes. Warren Beatty for Bugsy. Shouldn't have been there. Robert De Niro for Cape Fear. Fuck yeah, he was good in that. Nick Nolte for Prince of Tides. Yes, he was good. Robin Williams in The Fisher King. Yes. Take away Warren Beatty for Bugsy, because that should have been Jim Morrison nominated that should have been Val Kilmer nominated for playing Jim Morrison. I mean, Kilmer acted circles around. I know the competition we're going to talk about here is Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison versus other portrayals. Joaquin Phoenix as Johnny Cash, Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles. Rami Malek wins, 20 years later as Freddie Mercury. He doesn't sing in the movie. The movie's not that great, and Val Kilmer acted circles around, and I think that's a true injustice. I think he captures the spirit of Jim Morrison. He doesn't just mimic him like I thought Rami Malek kind of did with Freddie Mercury. And that's the story. You mentioned the story, Bob, about they couldn't decipher the recordings. Very true on that. The one gripe I have about this is that our selections are original songs that were written for the artist. This is a cover song. It's great. It's great. I mean, he would kick ass in a karaoke contest, but we didn't get the full song. It's better than a cover. I will give you that. But it's not an original, and that's my only issue with this. But Val Kilmer, tremendous. What do you guys think? Manny, we'll start off with you.
Dude, yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It's just, going back, I saw a documentary on Val Kilmer, I think on Amazon Prime or something, right? And it just shows, during that time, because he recorded everything from the time he was a kid till, up until now. And he's got all this stuff, and Val Kilmer is so dedicated to his craft that he immerses himself. Like you said, he had to go to therapy after playing. It's kind of like with what's his name that played the Joker, Heath Ledger. He's one of the best actors ever. And I'll say that because, dude, he's just so dedicated. That's and Randall, I have to agree with you. It just wasn't his song, it didn't come to mind. It wasn't one of the first things that came to my mind. And I'm sure there's other people that are like, okay, yeah, dude, he sang, he has all these songs that are recorded and he sounds just like him. Yes, dude, that's fucking awesome. But I just couldn't agree with it. Sorry.
No,
get him, Manny. Get him.
And he's like, please, somebody has to get him. No, I get that completely. I like I said, I just one of those guys. I think this is the topic where I was like, I had to talk about Val Kilmer, especially now with everything that's going on with his throat. You heartless bastards. Yeah, I'm just fucking with you. In him not being able to really talk, and it's kind of nuts how one of the greatest actors, because I still think of him when I think of Val Kilmer. I think of Tombstone and Doc Holliday. Think of one of the greatest actors of all times being able to sing that way and becoming this character. I thought was amazing. What do you think, Joseph? Shit on me too.
Real quick, speaking of nuts, once you said that, Joseph's camera went down. He just brought it back up. So I don't know if you guys worked that out.
I could see it in the corner of my eye. I saw it
getting ready.
It's gonna be one of those Sundays, isn't it?
Joseph, what are your thoughts?
No, I'm not gonna go too deep. I'm not gonna shit on your pick too much. It was tough for me. This one was tough to argue for and argue against, to be honest with you. I mean, it's Val Kilmer singing songs by The Doors, singing songs, lyrics by Jim Morrison, but they're great performances. Like Bob says, like we've all said, like we all agree. I think he did a hell of a job. Again, it not his songs, but wow. I mean, I talked with Bob about this the other day. Actually, I said I thought that this movie was before its time. Because like we've gotten so into these more so now, these biographical music movies with, the Bohemian Rhapsody. And I think there was an Elton John movie. We just had that Elvis movie.
Did you see the Elvis movie?
I did not. It doesn't.
I have not seen that movie yet.
I'm not interested in seeing it, to be honest with you. Andre 3000 did a Jimi Hendrix film. Unfortunately, his estate didn't let. And Andre can sing, but I mean, he was a singer before he was an actor too. But to kind of get that thinking, Andre wasn't allowed to sing the Jimi Hendrix songs, but he did sing songs in that movie that as Jimi Hendrix, but that were not so much by Jimi Hendrix. There's a performance of that on YouTube, him singing, I think Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club. Yeah. I thought he did good as far as the portrayal. But again, he was more a musician first. So I was trying to, kind of put those two together with, somebody singing songs that weren't necessarily for them, for a movie, things like that. But again, if for some reason they were going back to that real quick, if for some reason they were to try to do this today, unfortunately, they shouldn't. It's already been done, and can't think of anybody else that
You know who would play him today, right? You know who would play? No, it would be Julian Casablancas from The Strokes. He fucking sounds like him.
I was literally about to say, like, if it were being made today, it would probably be that prick MGK. They would probably put him in it.
Who's
I can see
MGK?
that. Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, why him?
Because
he wears pink?
I can see that.
No, because he's so hot right now. He's so
hot.
Guy.
Look at him, he's so hot right now.
I agree. I think they would. Sadly, I agree with that point. They would cast him as Jim Morrison if they were.
But like I said, this one was tough because, like we all mentioned, they weren't necessarily songs that were written by him, but man, they were good.
Could I ask you guys this? Is this the best portrayal of a singer by an actor? I know that's probably a different show we could do, but does anybody top Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison?
Fuck, I don't know, man.
I think Ray Charles.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jimmy Fox looking like Ray Charles.
Yeah,
and he had the mannerisms down. Everything he did a excellent
covered his eyes.
job on that.
I think those two are right up
with
side by side.
Covered his eyes.
I think of Joaquin Phoenix is
Joaquin Phoenix is
that's another one too.
Mannerisms,
but I'm just saying, like, Jamie Foxx covered his eyes for the role of Ray. Val Kilmer did peyote and the heroin, and all this shit. He got into character for an entire year.
He only ate watermelon. Yeah, he did. He got into it. Yeah.
He only ate watermelon.
All right, so we're going up next with Manny. Manny, who did you have and why?
All right. Well, first off, I guess let me tell you why I picked it, and then you'll figure out who it was. So basically, the writer or the co-writer of this song in 1984. All right, it's 1984. He wrote a song, and he was looking to shop it around on another movie. And the producers were like, no, just no. So they weren't able to get it on that movie, and then this huge hit comes out. I think it's 1987.
Yes.
And the movie is called Dirty Dancing, and the main actor, Patrick Swayze. All right. If you don't know by now, he decided to tell his producers, hey man, I got this song that we wrote down. They listened to it. They liked it. And they said, you know what? We got the perfect place to put this to put this song. Yeah. So I'm going with She's Like the Wind from Dirty Dancing. The reason I picked it actually made it onto like the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on adult contemporary. It was hit around the world. It's still on radio rotation to this day. I think of this song. I think of the lyrics. They're just, I'm not a writer. I like to talk a lot. I like to think that I know a lot. But, you listen to the lyrics and they make me feel like I'm there. I feel like his breath, behind my ear. I get that little tingle. I start feeling a little weird in my nether regions, And you think Patrick Swayze, he was also, it wasn't because of this song. He was, top 100 in the world. He's the hottest actor in the world at the time with Ghost and all that. And then he's got a song that's a hit. That's why I went with She's Like the Wind. Tear me up, boys. Tear me up.
I'll go for it's
like spring break all over again.
Tear you up like Patrick Swayze. Okay, first of all, you said this is on heavy radio. What radio rotation are you listening to these days?
Midnight Magic, 1995. Okay, B104.
Yes, B104 Midnight Magic.
Yes. All right, love that shit. And I was the only one listening and saying.
I noticed that you have a ceramics vase behind you too. Is that Patrick Swayze inspired? No, I'm just asking. All right, so this is my problem.
Very sexual scene. Very sexual scene.
Oh, yeah.
I was telling Manny we were talking. Actually, I was talking to an old a friend of the show, Charlie Corona. Shout outs to him. And we were talking. I told him we were having Manny. Manny's a mutual friend as well, and that we were having him on this episode. And we were talking, and he had asked, "Hey, is anybody picking Patrick Swayze? She's Like the Wind, because that would be my pick." And I was like, as a matter of fact, yes, somebody is picking that. And we talked about what a legitimate good song it was. I think we listened to it together, and now I'm going down this weekend to visit him. No,
whoa. I said we listened together, and I was going down. Now I'm going down. Jesus Christ! What kind of show is this?
So here's my problem with the song. It is a beautiful song, Manny. I'm not gonna. All right,
go ahead.
The song never defines how the wind is impactful or important. She's like the wind. How the fuck is she like the wind? Okay, she's like the wind, but you're losing me at the metaphor here, Patrick. Define
she's blowing. Wait, what are you talking, you dirty guys?
It's in the first line, man.
That's the wind, bro. The wind blows, bro.
The first line. She's like the wind through my tree. I mean, what's the only thing on a male body that looks like a tree? Okay,
I think we got
glowing
our clip.
tree. All right.
We got our clip, yeah.
So, okay, he never compares to what the wind, but I guess you answered. So I was seeing what is the connection now, but yes, now that you mention it, so
I'm coming over.
so the song is about a man with self-esteem issues. She's out of my league. He has a line that says she's out of my league. I mean, come on, Patrick Swayze. He was the perfect man in 1987. Let's see. Handsome, athletic, tall. He could dance. He's in great shape. He shouldn't be
Rip a guy's throat out. Yes. Roadhouse.
You know who should be singing the song? I should be singing this fucking song. All right. You know, like, who was a singer in 1987 that could have pulled this off? I think Steve Perry from Journey. Give Steve Perry this song, and it makes it 85% more believable because Patrick Swayze, nobody was out of his league at the time. Okay, this song isn't about Jennifer Grey, as you mentioned, Manny. Patrick Swayze co-wrote this song in 1984 for another movie called Grandview USA, and the song was about Jamie Lee Curtis's character in that movie. So now he's an asshole, a lazy asshole for using a song he wrote for another woman, and he uses it now for Jennifer Grey. So on a podcast, Rob Lowe mentioned that Patrick Swayze tried to get this in the 1986 movie Youngblood. So that's 3 movies he tried to get this song on. Patrick Swayze was pimping this song that made no sense for 3 years. So he finally got it on, but I think it was contingent with him being casted, and that's why he finally got it on Dirty Dancing. But guess what? It was a hit. It is a good selection, and it is a beautiful moment. Bob, Joseph, what do y'all think?
First off, he wrote the song for Jamie Lee Curtis. It's like, I mean, come on, man. Did you see Jamie Lee Curtis in the 80s? What the fuck? Who wouldn't write a song about her? I can't think of Patrick Swayze without thinking about him and Chris Farley doing the Chippendale skit on SNL. I always fucking love that song. I mean, that skit, it always cracks me up, makes me laugh. How Farley stayed toe-to-toe with him during that skit. This song is fucking awesome, dude. This is like... You want to talk like 80s love song? This is like one that you could mention, be like, oh, of course, it's Patrick fucking Swayze. How could you go wrong with Patrick fucking Swayze, dude? He's the coolest dude, the most humble dude, and he would still kick the shit out of you like in Roadhouse. The lyrics are a little, I mean, they're a little bit, I mean, they're cool. She's like the wind. I get it. I didn't get she rides the night next to me. That seems like she's having sex with your best friend in the other room. That kind of bothered me a little bit. She rides the night next to me. He's like, fucking bitch. But I like this. I love this song. I love that Patrick Swayze sang the song. He sang it very beautifully. I guess he's a beautiful man. I love that they used it in this movie. It fit the movie, you know, perfectly with Dirty Dancing. And it's a cool song, dude. I'm not gonna say anything bad about Patrick Swayze. He's my boy. I like that guy. What do you got, Joe?
Love Swayze, but this was a cash grab, plain and simple. Even though it was written by him, the song itself, I'm gonna be the asshole, right? If you really like really listen to the song, he has his parts that he sounds good, like if he's harmonizing real nice to it, but as soon as he gets to that part, like in the beginning where he says what did he say oh, he says she doesn't know what she's due, like you hear him, like that's when you're like, okay, like crazy Swayze can't like hit the high
poetry, Joseph. Goddamn it, it's poetry.
I totally agree with you. He
couldn't. There was those moments where if you really listen to it, and it happens again, where like if it were a traditionally trained singer, an actual musician, they would be hitting like that section or and then some later on ones perfectly with the high note. He's not a singer. He's not. So, but that wasn't to say that the song wasn't good. Like I said, there's the parts where he's kind of just like, if he was singing the background, you know, just, you know, a duet where he just harmonizes with somebody else who takes the lead, where they need to take the lead, then it would have been great. But Cash Grab, like I said, it's an interesting choice from him in the studio. I looked at his credits and really until Dirty Dancing, the first, like, I think it was like, and this is going to the credits. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think he had like 4 or 5 movies before Dirty Dancing, and none of them were really memorable from what I can see. Roadhouse didn't come out until a year later, but then I think people. Well, he had The Outsiders. He had The Outsiders. All right,
he wasn't a main character.
He wasn't the main character that even though I thought he was fucking awesome, and so was everybody else. What a
fucking cast, right?
Cast, right? Yeah, exactly.
The abs too.
But by then, like,
I didn't see anybody's faces. I just saw abs on that movie.
Abs and tight jeans.
According,
grade.
I think
required reading.
I think according to the dates that I saw, it came out in '86. I think, and then '87 Roadhouse came. I mean, they were kind of like right back after each other. So I don't know, but I think everybody was so like, the song could have came out later with the movie, and it could have gotten a big career bump with the Roadhouse film because Roadhouse was fucking awesome. We all loved Roadhouse. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting choice for the studio to like be like, you know what? Yeah, let's put your song like let's promote, and it helped the movie. Everybody loves the movie. It's like it's a very famous movie, so it ended up doing what it was supposed to do. But it was too cheesy for me. I guess that's my thing.
if I could just add just a little something. Look, there was a couple of things that annoyed me with the song. I love it. I think it's awesome. You hear it and you're like, fuck, that's Patrick Swayze, dude, badass. But yes, it never like really like reached this climax, until yes, at the end. But like he would go into like the chorus. And it was just 2 fucking lines, It was just like, okay, just a fool to me, and then it's just like, and then okay, so then it would teach me to the next thing is like he couldn't get like the spacing right, I guess, for so he felt like he was like rushing words into it,
You're making my argument better.
Screw you, am I the only one that really loves the song?
Look, mine has these imperfections, and I still think they're better than yours,
Yeah.
All right?
I think you nailed on it, but like perfectly. I think like he did this movie, and then right afterwards it came out with Roadhouse, so he got every fucking audience, dude. He got the ladies to love him, the
all because of the
Murray audience to love him because
song.
of the song. Then he got all the men to love him because he kicked the shit out of everybody in Roadhouse. So he knew what the fuck he was doing. I think he came out right at the right time.
And I most definitely believe that because like I said, they're like it was like literally right after 1 year after the next. Songs chart longer than some songs would chart longer than a year or a whole year.
Can't believe
so I'm more than sure.
About Jamie Lee Curtis.
I'm more than sure Roadhouse helped this song.
So like he probably, it's famous, his I want to say like the bad what's the word, Randall? The bad between him and Jennifer Grey, like
the animosity.
Yeah. Like but they look so good on screen. But I bet you anything she was pissed off the whole time that song wasn't about her, and they're gonna be singing a song about her. So that hurt her ego.
One last thing. Jamie Lee Curtis, perfect. I mean, that's the movie. Jesus Christ, that's why he wrote the. That's why he wrote the song.
Dude, I'm at that point in my life where like, okay, I'll take whatever.
Joseph, who do you got for us?
All right, I picked Wonder Boy by Tenacious D, Jack Black and Kyle Gass. More so Jack Black, I guess. So this is a fantastic song with many good qualities. I know they're a comedy rock group, but this song has real elements of musicianship. For one, they both play the guitar parts for the song. They are actual musicians and as well as actors. To give this song an extra boost, the great Dave Grohl was the one who played the drums on this album. So, I mean, it just makes it even better. But again, more so Jack Black. So I guess I'll leave Kyle Gass out of a lot of these arguments. Jack Black is awesome. I think he is. Is he over the top at times? Yeah. Does he do the same bit a few times? Too many? Sure, but he's fucking cool. He's funny and he's got a real respect for hard rock and metal. So I like that. Look no further than the Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny movie. It was fantastic. I love it. It's funny. Great music from that too. I remember when I first heard this song and I think that it was the video that I saw, first along with it. So it was video and music and song at the same time. I didn't even really know it was Jack Black at the time. I thought it, I just thought that it sounded good. I thought it was pretty cool. And, speaking of the visual, great music video, an epic story of Wonder Boy and Young Nasty Man. The song blasts forward at you with 3-part harmonies. The lyrics are really good. I think it tells the epic story of, a fictional version of the two joining forces and starting the band. Really, really cool, I thought. So back in 2001, when the song came out, I know at least, with my friends, Bob, maybe I hope you can concur. We were constantly seeing the Wonder Boy chorus. We would be walking around and Wonder Boy.
It had a really cool music video.
It was cool. It was fucking awesome. So, I mean, we were constantly singing that song. We had it on our burn CDs. I even think, I remember it coming out on TRL, so so that alone tells you
it was a pretty big little hit there.
That alone tells you how big it was at the time. MTV and TRL with that whole thing. Great song, in my opinion. I had a lot of fun listening to it again and again, over and over, to get familiar with it again and come up with things to say. I added it to my current playlist, and I can't wait to hear it again come up. And then it what's the word I'm looking for? It reintroduced me to the rest of the songs off of that album. You don't always have to. Nope, I'm gonna cut it right there.
That was a great song. It's my favorite song off that album.
If you know that song,
I know
great.
that song. Yes,
but good stuff, man. I really did like this song. That's my pick.
I will say this: Jack Black is often mentioned on the show due to his culturally insensitive portrayal of a Rastafarian Titus. And I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes,
almost as bad as Shallow Hal. I mean, I did love him on Saving Silverman and Tropic Thunder. Jack Black is just fun to watch. He's so charismatic. I was reading a lot of reviews on Tenacious D's concert, Joseph, and they've opened up for a lot of big bands. And a lot of people will point out how infectious they are and how great Jack Black is and Kyle Gass can. By the way, Manny, doesn't Kyle Gass look like our old boss, by the way? You know who I'm talking about? Yeah. All right. Then how infectious and how great they are. You know, I hadn't listened to the song in a long time. I remember when you texted Wonder Boy, Joseph, I couldn't remember what song that was. And you didn't put the band down either on the text.
I just figured everybody knew.
I did not know. I had to Google and I was like, okay, this is the old Tenacious D song, Jack Black. It's a fun song to listen to, but it's as if Led Zeppelin collectively got into a bad parasailing accident and damaged the part of their brains that made them good, or at least made them Led Zeppelin. You know, I mean, Jack Black is a talented musician. The guitar work is great. Kyle Gass is, you know, was he playing the lute? I mean, he's shredding on the lute.
Yeah, he's a multi-talented.
He's so good
musician. He's actually, and he can well, like, you know, he's really good.
I know it's a satirical song and it pokes fun of certain genres of rock, you know, the medieval rock and, you know, battling dragons and climbing up mountains and slaying people, whatever. It's a good novelty song and it doesn't have the re-listenability as many of the other songs have. I mean, can you listen to this in your car and not feel anything but silly? To me, it's one of those songs that I'll put on if I just want to laugh or have a sort of memory of Tenacious D and Jack Black. But I thought it was okay. I mean, it's not a bad song, but I don't think I would listen to it as often. What do you think, Bob?
Okay, I actually really fucking enjoy it, dude. And I would cruise to it because Jack Black's got a really great voice. The guitar play in it is fucking awesome. That's one thing that Kyle Gass and Jack Black do have. They have amazing guitar play. Jack Black can hit all those notes that Patrick Swayze couldn't quite hit. You know what I mean? He's got a really eclectic, he's got a really great voice. He really, really does. But I think you fucked up, Joseph. You picked the wrong song. You should have picked Jack Black singing More Than Words with Jimmy Fallon on his show, because that one is his best fucking performance of all time, dude. If anybody has not seen that, please go to YouTube and type in Jack Black, Jimmy Fallon, More Than Words, and he fucking nails that song, that impression of the song.
They did good.
They're a great band. I mean, you would think, it's a silly one. There's actually a UFC fighter that comes out to that song.
I didn't even mention that. My bad.
His name's Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Obviously, that's why he comes out with the Wonderboy song. But it's a cool song, man. I know that they're just kind of like a novelty act. But, you know, Jack Black, he's a very, very talented comedian and a very talented actor. And for him to also be able to, like, play the guitar that well and to sing that well, you know, you got to give the guy props.
One of my first, memories was, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Part 2, I guess, again, or whatever it's called, and seeing him, I'm like, man, dude, this guy sucks. And then one semester I transferred over from STCC back in the day to Kingsville, and my roommate was like, hey man, have you seen these Tenacious D videos or whatever? And so he had them all on VHS, and I watched the whole season, which was like 4 episodes, dude. It's not like today. But I fell in love with Tenacious D, man. You know, the songs and listening to it before they had their album come out, and it was all acoustic, you know, and yes, they had Wonder Boy. But dude, I don't know why, I can't compare Wonder Boy to a Tribute. And then also the other one that you brought up, you know, I'm gonna ain't her gently, you know, and teamwork, you know. Anyways, I had to leave out a little part there, but dude, touching on what everybody else says, yes, it's a novelty act, and it's not as serious. It got some play on MTV. Maybe now it's on VH1 every now and then at 2 a.m. But I just don't think that as far as like a song by an actor, you know, dude, I love Tenacious D. I love their movie. I was like maybe the only guy in the movie theater when Pick of Destiny came out. Yeah. But you know, when y'all asked that, or you know, y'all gave me that question right away, for me it was Patrick Swayze. But for some reason Jack Black didn't come up, or Tenacious D or Jack Black didn't come up, and I'm kind of kicking myself. But Wonder Boy versus Tribute, I'd go Tribute because you can listen to it over and over again.
More
Wonder
than
Boy,
words.
yeah,
More
yeah.
than words. More than words. Get drunk and put it on.
To be fair, and I had this discussion with Bob. I said I was gonna pick Tribute. I was, but I couldn't because it's just a tribute to the greatest song in the world. And we don't exactly know what the greatest song in the world was because they couldn't remember. So that was just a tribute, and I couldn't go with the tribute.
Well, just hang around a Hermes or a Guitar Center, and I think you'll figure out what the greatest song in the world is. Dude.
Stay with him.
Or watch Wayne's World.
I like how everybody could easily joke about Patrick Swayze. She's like the wind being about a blowjob, but nobody can say the title to fuck her gently. So
I feel dirty saying it, you know?
It's a title.
I didn't make a joke about
I've been in jail in Mexico.
Roll to a type of accent and see how it sounds.
So we're going to go on to my selection, the last selection of the night. And I went with Party All the Time by Eddie Murphy. This song, even by today's standards, can fit any scenarios. It's so versatile. Dancing at the club, wedding dances, jamming in your car, a sing-along with your children, background music as you're getting stabbed with a kitchen knife during a drug deal gone bad, Grand Theft Auto, you name it. This song could be on the background of anything. And speaking of drugs, this song was released in 1985 at the height of the Ronald Reagan Just Say No era. And out comes this cacophony of a massive force, the most drug-doing sounding song that was ever created, and it was performed by America's biggest talent at the time. And he technically wasn't a musician, and that's why I think he fits perfectly into this argument, because this was a guy who had no musical background, didn't know he sang, didn't know he did anything, and he comes out with this hit. Eddie Murphy was on top of the world at this point. Oftentimes disillusioned actors or sports stars, they would cut a song, and that was like the apotheosis was in the 80s. In the 80s, everybody was doing the Chicago Bears, Mr. T, Patrick Swayze, everybody was cutting records. And this was a big risk for his career, because his career was at the apex. He was, he had, Eddie Murphy Raw, he was coming off SNL, he was a big film star. He didn't have to do this, but he did. And it has been said that this song was $100,000 bet with Richard Pryor that Eddie could sing. Now Eddie said at the end, Rick James did everything. He put together everything, the vocals, the instrumentals and everything. But Eddie said, I did sing and I could sing and I gave you guys a hit. So regardless of his musical aspirations, Eddie Murphy told Rolling Stone in 2011, I never stopped recording music. I just stopped putting it out, because when you see actors singing, it's like, hey, don't come in here to my fucking music section. Stay over there. And Eddie Murphy was at least self-aware as how actors were portrayed going into the music realm. And we didn't even mention Lindsay Lohan's attempt, but we'll get to that later. This was nearly a #1 hit. It was stuck at #2 for 3 weeks behind Say You, Say Me by Lionel Richie, which I think is Lionel Richie's best song, by the way. But Party All the Time charted higher than any of Rick James's solo tracks, despite his legend. And he never got higher than #13. And his protege, Eddie Murphy, gets a #2 hit. And let's talk about the video for a moment, guys. Eddie Murphy's backup band, the original Sexual Chocolate, Rick James acting like he discovered the next Michael Jackson, is hilarious. The optics are great. The people dancing in the background. This isn't the first cutting a demo in a studio video, but it's the blueprint. It's now the blueprint. In studio videos, you always had the producer and the sound engineer smoking, beer guts, tinted glasses. But this had Eddie Murphy's buddies and girls dancing in the video. You knew there was a party going on in the studio. There was a cameo by a white executive from MTV, and you could see him at the beginning. I think he's the only white guy in the video other than the lead guitarist with the open shirt and the perm. And he was invited as a peace offering. Rick James accused the executive of never playing black artists on MTV. The executive admitted that they were gearing more towards rock, that Super Freak was low quality. I mean, it looked like a 70s Betamax porn. So he brought him into the studio, and Eddie Murphy, other than Michael Jackson and Prince, and you would think about all these talented artists from all these different backgrounds, and Eddie Murphy was one of the 3 or 4 first real African-American musicians being played on MTV. He was groundbreaking as a comedian, as an actor. Now as a musician, he did everything. And this song is still relevant today. You could put it on and people will dance to it. People will sing to it. He's amazing. Stop laughing. What do you guys think?
They may be dancing, but nobody sees them. Anyway, why do we keep talking about Eddie Murphy? We talk about him a lot. Now, I'm playing around. First off, it's not Jack Black's fault that he's a talented musician. So you can't use that argument that Eddie Murphy is just an actor. So Let me just throw that out there. Anyway, no, I give complete credit to Eddie Murphy because I do think he did have a nice singing voice. Granted, he ended up having a nice singing voice. In his comedy hours, he did impressions of singers and musicians. Mainly, I remember him doing Elvis and Michael Jackson, and he kind of like. He did all right. Like I thought he did their impressions and singing very good. So I was like, okay, well maybe he can do this. I know it was perfect timing for him because Eddie Murphy was a huge fucking star. I mean, he is a huge star, I think, even though he's more of a recluse these days. But Eddie Murphy can do whatever the fuck he wants. He could do no wrong at the time. The song itself isn't bad. It's not. I think we can all add this to our guilty pleasure playlist. It's the song we want to unexpectedly come out on our stereos, windows up, of course, so that nobody knows that we're listening to it. How could the song not succeed? I know the numbers are going to be there. I think you mentioned them too, the charts and blah, blah, blah. It had the backing of Rick James, bitch, and Stevie Wonder. So I mean, that's a recipe for success, at least, and it was, like you mentioned, it was better than a lot of or all of Rick James songs, or it charted higher.
Yeah.
So I mean,
how could fucking awesome. Let's just
how could it not?
Settle down.
How could it not? We joke about it these days. I mean, we do, but it is. We can all agree it's a decent song. But as you say, for my pick, Manny, and I think Randy said it too. To me, this is a novelty song at this point. It was a. Now, I mean, I know they were partying. I knew it was like, oh, let's fucking do a huge party song. And yes, I mean, they were doing drugs in that video, but, it's a novelty. Like it was for some people, it might've been like, they might've looked at it like, oh, this is a huge cash grab. Cause like I said, he couldn't do any wrong, and he didn't. It worked out. He could sing. To me, it's always that like, oh, it's just a party song. I mean, it's called Party all the time. So that's all it is to me.
All right, yeah. So all I can say is cocaine is a hell of a drug, dude. Like these guys, dude, they were fucking partying, dude. And Eddie Murphy, forgive my fucking impression. He's like, oh yeah, I can do that. Him and Rick James, dude, together, dude. Why would this not come about? You got Rick James, who is arguably the best talent musically at that time, because I went back and I love to go back and say documentaries, because that was one of my favorite class graduating from Pan Am. It was the only class I paid attention to for communications. So like Rick James, best music, talent there was. And yes, he wasn't getting the radio or the video play, back in the day. But dude, you go back and listen to every one of his songs, and dude, he has the lyrics, he writes the music, dude, anything he touches is going to turn to gold. And then he's got Eddie Murphy on top of that. Dude, come on. Yes, party all the time, or my girl's going to party all the time, my girl parties all the time, whatever it is. Badass song, dude. It's awesome. But dude, for me, I had to look at it like, well, can you listen to it 2 or 3 times in a row? Unless I'm on like, my third 8-ball. Fuck yeah, yes, I can. But if I'm not, if it's Sunday morning and I'm going to church, I'm going to listen to that with the windows up and as softly as possible, So, like, great song. I just don't think that it's the best song by an actor.
Yeah, I'm with Manny on that, too. I agree with Joseph. Like he said, novelty. You had the biggest star in the 80s, in Eddie Murphy at that point in time. He had Eddie Murphy Raw. He was acting. He had already come off of SNL. I mean, he was fucking huge at that point in time. Huge. So, getting Rick James to say, hey, let's put together a song, man. We can make a lot of money. I think that's what it was. It was a big cash grab for them. Not saying that Eddie Murphy can't sing, because he's super talented. The thing that bothered me, though, he has kind of like a deeper voice, or and then when he sings, it's kind of like Rick James stuck his finger up his ass and was like, I sing, motherfucker, because he sings like a chick. The first time I heard it, I thought it was a chick singing. I really did, because he's got a really really high pitched song. So I don't know, like,
it's called soul.
It's called not soul. It's like what his brother said on the Chappelle Show. Like, the more you look like a bitch, the more chicks you got. And I think that's what he went with. The more I sounded like a chick, the more chicks I'm gonna get. So it's a good party song. I really dig the song. It's funny. The music video is cool, and I love to see Rick James all fucking coked out, getting real excited, trying to play the instruments, hitting all the buttons. He doesn't even know what the fuck they do. It's a cool song, man. Was it the best song by an actor? I don't think so. It's definitely a cool song. It's definitely a cool song, man. And You're going to be very happy with the cover art this week, Rand. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Awesome. I will say this. First of all, fuck all your couches, and they should they should have never given you guys a podcast. All right. So I will say this, and this is just, what if the song for Manny? You watch Stranger Things, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you know how she has to play "Running Up That Hill" for the song where so she doesn't go.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Never. What about what if they played "Party All the Time" and that was the song she has to listen to all the time?
No, dude.
That would be a huge. It would people would.
She would have broken her bones herself.
So we're gonna go ahead and go with our closing questions. A lot of actors were singing in the '80s and '90s. Do you think we'll ever see that explosion again? Do you think we'll ever see actors cut albums like they used to?
I think that they will, but everything's so like low key now and like independent, and you know they go and do little shows. I know. Speaking of Stranger Things, the main kid, I always forget his name. Fucking shit, he's in love with 11. Why do I forget his name?
Wolf, something.
Finn
Yeah.
Wolfhard.
Finn,
Finn
Finn.
Wolfhard,
He actually has a little band, dude, and they play little punk rock, cool little like alternative rock music. I actually caught a video of him on YouTube singing with his band, so I thought that was pretty cool. Batman, Robert Pattinson, he's put out a couple of albums. He plays like acoustic shit. It actually didn't sound too fucking bad, so I don't think it's over. I just don't think it's gonna be like Eddie Murphy's putting out a single in a music video. We gotta play it. It's gonna be loud and a number one hit on the radio. I don't think it'll ever be that way, but definitely these guys do some low key stuff. Hey, speaking of which. Fucking Iron Man, dude. Have you ever heard him sing before? Holy shit, the guy can really, really sing.
Robert Downey
Jr. Holy shit. Sorry. I forgot about that one.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Of course you heard Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, I heard him a couple times.
I kind of agree with Bob. Back then it was like I don't know, kind of seems like it was the cool thing to do. I think nowadays though it's so easy for anybody to release something on their own, and it's not like it's not like this huge big thing. If like an actor or an actress does a song, they probably sing on a TikTok or an Instagram video or a Facebook video every now and then, maybe when they're just like hanging out and they sing a song and then somebody says, oh, you should, it's just always out there. I guess it's maybe it's, and because like I said, it's so easy to just do it on your own. It's not going to be the big deal like it was back then.
Monoculture, I think. What do you think, Manny?
Dude, yes, it's going to happen. Look at y'all were touching on this earlier. There's movies about all these big singers now. All these actors are using it as I guess like a jump off or some type of catapult. Yes, it's gonna keep happening. But on back then, growing up in the 90s, 80s and 90s, you would hear, okay, yeah, Keanu Reeves has his band, Johnny Depp, Sean Penn,
Kevin Bacon,
dude, Kevin Bacon, tastes like Kevin Bacon. Anyway, there's a song there. But yes, dude, back then it was more like, okay, well, these guys are fucking rich, and of course they're gonna go and find something to do with their time, might as well just start a band. But now I think it's kind of like it's a given for all these new actors that are coming up. Like, hey, can you act? Yes, all right, we're gonna give you a multi-million-dollar deal, but they're gonna have this spin-off or this, I guess, jump off point where yes, they're gonna have a musical career as well. I think, and now with TikTok and Snapchat and whatever the fuck is out there, I stay loyal to Facebook. I'm sorry, but
MySpace all the way, baby.
So yeah, it's gonna be happening a lot, and I think it's just expected of them.
I wanted to ask you all, since we've talked a little bit about it. I know it's not in our note, but.
Yes, I am.
What's a musician biopic that you would like to see?
Oh, that's a great question.
Is there anybody that any artist you're like, man, I really wish they would make a movie about this singer or this band?
They gotta make one about Led Zeppelin. The shit that stories that you've heard. I was
cult and all that shit. They have a bunch of weird shit that goes on in the background.
They'll probably like cast like Timothy Olyphant. I mean, not Timothy Olyphant. Timothy Chalamet as Robert Plant or something.
Oh, that guy's in everything now, dude.
So I would like to see Led Zeppelin. What about you guys?
Ozzy
would be fucking cool.
Either Ozzy or Black Sabbath. I mean, it could be both. I mean, I'm sure.
Assholes. That guy was. I mean, I can imagine the stories that they could pull with that.
Well, they touch on him in The Dirt, on Netflix. But dude, Ozzy was one of my right now when you asked that question, it came to mind. But dude, I'd love to see a movie about Pink Floyd, man.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I fucking love
I'd
Pink
definitely
Floyd.
check that one out.
Favorite band of all, one of my favorite bands of all time.
Yeah, that's my top 3 island song or island CDs. You know.
I
yeah,
agree.
dude.
I think Pink Floyd, yeah, that's good. If you had somebody's catalog and you could only listen to one band, Pink Floyd would be one of the top for
good
sure.
Good question, Bob.
That was a good
Yeah,
question.
hell yeah, dude. I think that's cool. I mean, they're doing so many now. Who would you really like? There's a lot of guys with a lot of crazy, you know, a lot of bands with a lot of crazy backstories.
But hold on. Okay, so you asked that, but what's a biopic you could do without?
Oh, Michael Jackson.
No, Bubbles, don't touch that.
I think they would get Machine Gun Kelly to play Michael Jackson.
Dude,
the thing.
Okay, go ahead, Joseph.
No, I was just gonna say real quick because like I know we talk about like, and those are 3 like, you know, they're musicians that like that were, you know, doing their thing before, you know, some of us were born or around while we were younger, and we're big fans of them. The thing is though, like, would we really be happy with the choices that they select to maybe play like the Led Zeppelin to somebody to play Ozzy? Like there's like everybody that we would want to see play them, they can't play them anymore because they're too, they're too up there in age.
It's best to go with like a no name.
It's like the Elvis movie. Like I love Elvis. I don't like that kid. I don't want to watch him play Elvis, you know. I can't do it.
I know you were asking earlier if anybody's seen it. My wife went to watch it with a friend of hers, and yes, she was a bottle of Camus into it. But she said that kid did a real good job. But I think she was just staring at something else in those leather pants, you know.
I think I don't know. I can't think of anybody who would I not want to see. I don't know. I mean, it's hard.
What about Hanson?
Hanson,
pick.
Rick Astley.
They never hurt anybody.
No. But I think I was like more of like a biopic that's already been made.
Uh-huh.
Who do you like? Like one that you were like, you know what? Like
I didn't care for Bohemian Rhapsody. I thought the editing sucked.
It's famous for the cuts. It's famous for the cuts.
Yeah,
dude.
I like the movie, but yeah, it like fast forwarded way too much. It went through it way too quickly, dude. It felt too rushed. I don't know.
Yeah, it was sloppy. I mean, I wanted Sacha Baron Cohen to do the Freddie Mercury story.
No, that would have been awesome.
They sanitized that story so much because they wanted to, you know, keep Freddie Mercury's legacy. I mean, the dude's a legend. It doesn't matter what he did or what his personal life. He was an amazing singer, and I think the band didn't want to separate art from artists. They wanted to give because I mean, it was so. Some of the stuff is like, oh yeah, they started singing "We Will Rock You" when somebody started stomping their feet. It was just so like simple. And his story is a lot more complex, and Sacha Baron Cohen wanted to bring that to the stage, and I thought he would have done an amazing job because that guy's no holds barred. So I was really upset with Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't think that was a good movie at all.
I was kind of, you know, I couldn't finish it, man. The Elton John movie, dude.
I haven't watched that one.
I thought it was all over the place. Edgar Tarrington, dude, I love him, dude. He's a great actor. It's nothing against him. I just think that the way that it was put together, and not only that, dude, Elton John's still alive, you know? So like why you know, unless he you know, wrote and produced and put it all together just because he's that big of an I guess an egomaniac or whatever. He wanted to see himself on the big screen.
Could I follow up your questions with this? Will we ever see a Beatles biopic? Do you think they'll ever put one together?
I hope so. I think they will. I think when everybody's gone, I think that would be a pretty cool tribute. I watched, it wasn't a biopic, but I watched yesterday, and man, that fucking movie was awesome. I just think that if they were to actually do a biopic of the Beatles with the right way, if they do it the right way, because they have such an interesting story, an interesting breakup, and all the craziness in between, I think it'd be cool.
That would have to be a Netflix series, I think.
Who's still alive in the Beatles?
Ringo and Paul.
No, it's just Ringo, dude. Paul was, you know. If
he died. He died back in like 63 or whatever it was.
Oh, I'm still alive, you know. I'm still listening to podcasts nowadays, you know.
The famous Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney impression will live on forever. This isn't the first time or the last.
Dude, what's even more famous is watching him get into it. Okay, it's like
his face.
Shifting gears a little bit, Bob, you were a guest on a podcast, friend of ours, friend of the show. Tell us a little bit about Did Not Need to Know podcast and the episode you got coming up.
Oh yeah, dude. This past Wednesday, I was fortunate enough they asked me to be a part of their show. Did not need to know they talk about serial killers and murder and cool shit like that. I started watching the show The Staircase, and I was kind of talking with them about that and how I disagreed. Jenna, who's one of the hosts of the show, she said that he was definitely guilty. I was on the fence. I thought he was not guilty, so they decided to throw me on their show and talk about the case and discuss why he's guilty, why he's not guilty. And we had a lot of fun doing it, and they're really cool people, and it's a really cool pod. And I've been listening to a ton of that. If you're into serial killers and murder mystery, like they do really cool shows, and they're really fun people, and they screw around like we do and have fun and have jokes. And one person tells the story about, BTK, or I think they're doing the Golden State Killer right now.
Draymond Green.
Yeah, Draymond Green. Draymond Green, the Golden State Killer. They're talking about the Golden State Killer right now, and so one sister's telling the story about him, and the other sister hasn't heard it yet or doesn't know the details, so she's finding out, and it's pretty cool. They have a great little dynamic, and I was fortunate enough to be on the show. I don't know why they asked me, because they're like, you're good at interrupting and making smart-ass comments. You'd be perfect for our show.
I will say this, ladies, if you're listening, Joseph and I are available for the West Memphis 3 episode along with Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder. So we will be available for that one. But listen to them. They got
serial killers, not bad bands.
They have a great podcast, and we love listening to them. Manny, want to thank you for being on the show tonight. We'd love to have you back, by the way. We thought you were excellent.
Dude, you did awesome. Dude, it was perfect.
This is so much fun, guys. Like Randall, like you said, we go way back, man. We've always had great conversation. I remember going up to your office and we just shoot the shit, man.
Yeah.
And not only that, dude, for some reason, he started off saying, okay, I didn't like Manny, but dude, then the guy would drive to Westlaco, come pick me up, and then we'd drive back to McAllen and go party out, and then he would drive me back. So I think I made a good impression on him, dude.
I love you, Manny. One of the best friends a guy could have. I remember walking down. We were at a nightclub, and you probably don't remember this, Manny, but some guy bumped me, and he bumped me, and then before I could turn around, you were in this guy's face, like trying to start shit with him, and I was like, "Hey, wait a minute! I was just gonna say, excuse me." You're all. You're about
so good. You want a beer, bro?
And I was like, man, this guy's all heart, man. He's the type of guy, he'll give you the shirt off his back and the wax off his back too. A great guy. Manny, where could our audience find you? You have a Twitch stream. Where could we find you?
Yeah. So I do this for fun, man, but it's real easy. It's Manny Chains, Manny Cadena, but chains, in Spanish, or translated in English. Okay. I Manny Chains, just the way you think it sounds, and it's the way it's spelled. Just get on there, and I just basically yell at little kids for 3 or 4 hours.
Dude, I want to drink and do that. Just listen.
That's all I do, man.
Excellent. So if you're following Manny, please do. If you're not following Manny, please do. We're gonna have him back on a future episode. If he'd like to come back, we'd love to have you back, Manny.
Sure.
I'll think about it.
And really really happy with the work. That's our show, everyone. Listeners, we'd love to hear from you. Hit us up and let us know who is your favorite song. Which is your favorite song by an actor? I can't get that out. I'm sorry. Okay, most importantly, let us know what you think about the show. You may reach us at formidableopponents@gmail.com and follow us on any social media platform: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're on TikTok. Just search Formidable Opponents and you'll find us. Please rate and rank our shows on Spotify and Apple. That really helps us out, get the word out. We want to thank Creative Little Pill this week for the awesome cover art, and join us next episode. We'll be back next week with another special guest, and we will be debating best video game franchise. So for Manny, Bob, and Joseph, this is Randall. We'll see you all next week.
She's like the wind.